right, so welcome to class, everybody. Max is here. That's great. Paulina's here. Bogdan, Lara, Stan. How's everything going? Pretty good?
Yeah.
All of my other students love saying so-so, 50-50. And that doesn't really answer the question. How are things going? 50-50. What's 50-50?
Normal day in Russia.
Normal day in Russia. See the president riding by on a bear and
yeah, and drinking vodka.
Everybody's drinking vodka and tanks and stuff. Good. Okay. So last week we looked at a short presentation. So Lara, you weren't here, but we looked at a short presentation by Kurt Vonnegut Jr., the man who wrote the story that we read 2 weeks ago. And he says that all stories have shapes, and it's kind of a fun exercise to draw out the shape of the story and kind of see if it fits any of the common story types. So we had, let's see, I'll go back to this whiteboard and see if we can do something here. So I'll clear it out and I'll start over again. So he had 3 types of stories, and essentially you're given axes, right? And he starts from the beginning and he goes to what he calls entropy, but he actually means the end, right? So over here is the end of your story, or he called it entropy. Do you guys know what entropy is, actually?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. No. Yeah. So.
But I'm pretty sure I can't explain it in English.
Okay. So entropy is disorder. It's things falling apart, right? So, for example, when you go to the beach and you make a sand castle, you take wet sand and you build up a nice, beautiful castle. Well, eventually that castle will fall down into sand again. And that process of going from order to disorder is entropy, right? So it's kind of a fun way to say that you go from the beginning of the story to the end of your story. And the other thing is that entropy always increases in the direction that time increases. So that's another little tidbit, a little physics tidbit for you guys. And then on this axis, you had good fortune, and you had what he called ill fortune, by the way. Ill fortune just means bad stuff happening, right? Nothing good happening. And I couldn't figure out a way to turn these, so I'll just put them like that, okay? So essentially, the higher up you are on this graph, the better the story feels. The story feels great. And the lower you are, the worse the story feels. The story feels awful, right? So he had 3 kind of, I don't know, archetypes or 3 types of stories that he showed. Well, he had 2 archetypes and then one example of a very popular story. So the first story, he called it
Man in a Hole.
Yeah, Man in a Hole. And it's someone who starts off with good fortune, right? And then eventually something bad happens to him. And then eventually in the story, something good happens to him, right? And so he called this Man in a Hole because this is a hole, right? And so you can see a man kind of falling in this hole. And then eventually he gets back up out of it and he feels better. And we feel better and everything's great, right? Then the other type of story was where you have a common man, a common person like you and me and everybody else, and they start the day off normally, right? So when you think about today, did you have a lot of good fortune or ill fortune? No, you probably started right in the middle, right? So you start right here in the middle, and then something fantastic happens in this story. And while oops, I didn't want to do that color. I wanted to do a different color. Yeah, different color. So something fantastic happens, and wow, life is great. And then, oh no, you kind of lose it. And then in the end, get it back again, right? And so, what did he call this one? Do you remember?
No, I only remember the first.
He called this one Boy Gets Girl, right? So this is one of the stories where, for example, a boy meets a girl, they fall in love, and then something terrible happens in the relationship, and then he's able to recover that relationship somehow, right?
Oh yeah, he also said that it needn't especially be the boy gets the girl.
Yeah.
It can be something else.
Yeah, right. It doesn't have to be boy gets girl. And we'll see. So when I do this, I decided to do this for the movie Shrek. So we'll see that Shrek's trajectory follows this kind of, but it's a little bit different, right? And then Donkeys does it completely different. Let's see. And then he showed us Cinderella. So Cinderella, the Cinderella's mother dies, and so she starts off low. And what else happens? There's an invitation to the ball, but she doesn't get any more upset about not being able to go. So she helps her stepdaughters get ready for the ball. She helps her stepmother get ready for the ball. And everybody goes off to the ball and she stays at home. And while she's staying at home, her fairy godmother comes. Her fairy godmother gives her some shoes and gives her a nice dress and gives her a lot of beautiful makeup and gives her a horse and a carriage and all these wonderful things. And then she goes to the ball and she's having a great time. And then the prince falls in love with her. Oh my God, this is amazing, right? And then at midnight, everything falls apart, right? So midnight hits, and so she comes down. But she doesn't come down to the same level because she's Cinderella, right? She's a strong woman, right? And then so life plods along, and she's doing okay, but life could be better. And then all of a sudden, the prince finds an old shoe of hers that doesn't get transformed, a glass slipper. And the prince goes around looking for Cinderella and eventually finds her, and she gets infinite happiness, right? Because she lives happily ever after. Okay. And so this one, he didn't give it a name, but I'll just call this the Cinderella story. And this is a very common story, even in sports. What was it? This Leicester City in football. What was it, like 2 or 3 years ago? They won the Champions League, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's a Cinderella story," because it's a team that goes from nothing to being competitive and then actually finally winning everything. Really great. So these are the 3 types of stories that he showed. He also showed a Franz Kafka story, which just starts with ill fortune and ends with ill fortune. But I asked you guys to come up with the curve for a story. So if you haven't done that, then while we are doing it, Stan has his and I have mine. So while we are doing ours, kind of try to think of one of your favorite stories and then try to come up with this curve. And I will have you draw it on here for this whiteboard. Okay. So I'll save this one and undo all of this. And so I decided I'm going to do this for the movie Shrek. Right? So we have the movie Shrek And I was just going to do it for the character Donkey, because you can do this for any single character. But Donkey's curve is kind of boring. So I decided to do this also for Shrek. Okay. So I'll draw, let's see, Shrek is green, so we'll draw Shrek in green, right? And in the beginning of the story, he's in his swamp and he's pretty happy. Everything's going along just fine, right? And seems to be fairly happy with his life. He's just hanging out in his swamp. And then all of the sudden, all of these creatures are in his swamp, all of these fairy tale creatures. And he doesn't like this very much. And he also meets this talking donkey. And this talking donkey is getting pretty annoying. So his fortune is going kind of on the ill side here, because all he wants is to be left alone, right? And so he decides to go see Lord Farquaad, and so things are just kind of plodding along. And he's given the task of finding Princess Fiona. And so he's like, okay, if you give me my swamp back, I will go find you your stupid princess, right? So he goes to this castle, and everything's looking good, right? He's got his donkey there to help him out. Even though he finds the donkey really annoying, the donkey's kind of helping him. And so he finds Princess Fiona, everything's going great. And then he starts thinking, okay, well, maybe I actually like this girl. And so he doesn't know what to do. Should he bring her to Lord Farquaad? Should he try to keep her for himself? He doesn't know, but then he starts thinking, wow, I'm an ogre, right? Nobody really likes me. And then he overhears a conversation that she's having about herself, because as we all know, I don't want to give any spoilers here, but as we all know, she is an ogre as well, right? And so he overhears her talking about herself as an ogre, and he thinks that she's talking about him. Who could love somebody who's so ugly? And so then he starts feeling really bad, right? He doesn't have a swamp. He doesn't have anything, right? And then Donkey comes to help him. Donkey says, but wait, she was talking about herself. And then he runs to the rescue and stops the marriage. And he also has a dragon on his side, right? So the dragon helps out. And he breaks Fiona's spell, and he gets infinite happiness, right? So kind of a man in a hole type of situation, but also a nice Cinderella ending. So you can see how sometimes these stories get a little mixed up. Now, so this is for Shrek, right? I should capitalize his name, Shrek. And then this is where he's not sure about being alone in his swamp. And then, oops, this is where he loses everything. But we can also do this for Donkey. So let's do this for Donkey. And Donkey's curve is a little more, I don't know, simple, right? So in the beginning of the story, we see Donkey. What color should we make Donkey? Maybe brown. He's actually gray, but I can't find a gray, so no gray. Donkey, in the very beginning of the story, if you remember, he's going to be sold to I guess it's Lord Farquaad's men. They're rounding up all of the fairy tale creatures, and this old lady that owns him is trying to sell him and get rid of him, and he doesn't want to go. She says, "This is a talking donkey," and he just sits there and he holds his mouth and he doesn't say anything. And they're saying, "Are you sure he's a talking donkey?" "Yeah, I'm sure he's a talking donkey." And he just sits there being quiet. And then he gets hit with some fairy dust and he starts flying. And he says, "Oh my gosh, I'm flying," right? And then they see, oh, he is a talking donkey, right? But he gets hit with some fairy dust and he's flying away, running away. And then he meets his good friend Shrek. And ever since then, life is great. He's got his best friend Shrek. He could live in the swamp with Shrek. Shrek wants to go on this cool adventure. Oh yeah, okay, let's go on this cool adventure. We'll go to Lord Farquaad's castle and we'll go get our swamp back. And then Lord Farquaad says, "Go find the princess." Oh boy, let's go find a princess and fight a dragon. This is great. Okay. Goes to fight the princess, or goes to fight a dragon. Starts feeling really brave, really cool. But yeah, nothing really seems to bother him, and he just kind of plods along on this like happy path, right? And then as soon as Shrek finds, or as soon as Shrek overhears Princess Fiona talk about him being ugly and awful, then Shrek takes it out on Donkey and says, "Get out of here! I don't want you anywhere near me." So he drops down as well. He's like, "Oh, I lost my best friend." But then he snaps out of it almost immediately. He's just, I don't know. This is kind of the nice thing about being dumb is that things just don't bother you. You're just like, yeah, well, whatever. So he goes back up to this good fortune thing, and he tells Shrek, the princess, she's getting married, but she wants you, right? And so he goes along. Everything's great. Helps Shrek save the princess, and then finds that the dragon actually likes him as well. So he gets some pretty good happiness at the end as well. So this is Donkey. And we can see that his path, given that he's kind of an interesting character, or he has an interesting mindset, that his path is just kind of bland, or just sits at this level. We also talked last week about the path that people in the story Harrison Bergeron might have taken. And so, for example, his father and his mother, they would just have this line kind of on the negative end. So ill fortune, but not so bad. We have to live with it, right? And every once in a while, they would have a spike downward, and then they would forget, right? So they would think, "Oh, my son, he's gone," but then they would forget about that pain, and they would come back up to that normal line. Okay. Okay, so these are my Shrek curves. Got them saved. Okay. Any questions about Shrek? No. No. All right. So I'm going to give control over to, I guess, Stan. You'll go first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll show us the curve of which story did you pick?
Well, my original thought was to do Aaron Yeager curve, but since you're still watching Attack on Titans, I decided not to do that because spoilers and stuff.
It's not that big of a deal. You can do it if you want, if you remember.
Well, it's actually really interesting at the end, especially. Well, I don't want to spoil it for you, so I decided to pick up another story.
Okay.
I actually picked Anakin Skywalker.
Okay.
His story is quite interesting as well.
Yeah, sure.
It's complicated.
So are you going to go over more than one movie then?
Well, yeah, actually, I read his whole life.
Okay, okay, no problem. We all know Anakin Skywalker, right?
Yeah.
Does anybody here not know Anakin Skywalker? Okay, so go ahead. I think control is yours. Up here, you can switch between drawing tools and text tools and the color.
Well, I can actually see that switch thing, but I guess I'll
Okay, what color do you want? I can change it for you.
probably red.
Red, all right, there you go. You have a red pen.
All right. So Anakin starts somewhere here, I think, because he was born. He didn't have a father, only his mother. He also was a slave there in Tatooine, I guess. So his life was boring, more like bad than good, until he became 10 years old. That's
Okay.
when he met Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn, and stuff. So he won the race. Everything is better than ever. Um, the point he won the race. He's free now, but then he realizes that his mother is not. So it's a little bit miserable for him.
A
But
little bit sad about his mother. Yeah.
yeah, but then he thinks of his future. It is bright. He flies away with Qui-Gon, with Obi-Wan. It's great. Then uh, until 20 years old, it's all good. The best point in his life, actually, he meets Padme. He becomes a Jedi master. Then he sees that strange dream where Padme dies. He thinks, "Oh my God, she's gonna die. Everything is gonna be bad." But then Palpatine comes to him and says, "No, everything will be alright. I will save her." He thinks, "Oh my God, that's great. I will have a baby. I will have Padme life. It's great." Uh, but then everything goes wrong. He realizes who Palpatine is. He kills. I, oh, he draws now. He kills Mace Windu. He kills younglings, and yeah, it just goes way worse. Yeah. Then becomes Vader
Uh-huh.
down to infinity. But then at the end of his life, he was 44.
Mhm.
He saves his son Luke. He saves the planet, kills Palpatine, and well, we can actually call him a good character, but I think his camera got way better than it used to be somewhere here in some scene
Okay, good, good.
from down there. Yeah.
Okay, good. I like how this little section is three movies from right here to right here. Actually, from somewhere about right here. This is three movies here.
Yeah, well, he did bad stuff there. Just
Yeah,
it
but I mean, couldn't you imagine that he thought he had good fortune because he was like the main man when it came to the empire. He was the right hand man of the emperor himself. He could do anything he wanted. He could choke people. He could, go capture princesses. He could do whatever he wanted.
well, probably from his side, but well, from us, it's just bad.
Okay, good.
Well, it is already negative infinity, so I think it's nothing interesting there.
It's gotta catch back up, right? Okay, good. Would anybody add anything to this? Do you guys know the story of Anakin Skywalker? No?
Yes.
Yeah?
Hmm.
Would you add any events to this curve, or do you think this curve looks okay?
I think, but yes, but because in the beginning of his life when he just was born, he wasn't feel so bad. He had like normal one, not bad fortune, I think.
Okay, okay.
Because
So
Well, he was a slave, so probably.
and when he went to the dark side,
mhm,
it was very bad for him because I was reading comics about him and
mhm.
it was hard. In this costume, he was always hurt.
Yeah, okay.
So
So So you would agree with everything being below the
No,
curve?
can I change something, please?
Sure, yeah, but let's do it in a different color. So
Mhm.
I will change yours to, I don't know, blue. How about that? And then let's see, stop remote control for this stupid thing. And then I'll give it to you. Okay, so you should have control. Give it a shot.
Stan, can you tell me when he joined the dark side? When?
It
Somewhere
was,
here.
yeah, it was around this area here. So if I, yeah, somewhere around there.
Mhm. Can I do something?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not like here, just and low and more and more and a lot.
Okay, so negative infinity pain, right?
Yes, he always were in pain. It was.
Okay.
He was also trying to kill his teacher.
Okay.
But he lost. Mhm.
Yeah. What was it? Obi-Wan, and he couldn't find his teacher anymore.
Not Obi-Wan, dark side one.
Oh, he had a teacher on the dark side. I didn't know this.
I forgot his name.
I don't know any of the comics. I just know the movies, or any of the books. I didn't read any of the books. Okay, good. And then you would also say that, let's see, over here, you would say that he was a slave, right? But he didn't know any better. He didn't know that being a slave.
Yes, he was okay. He had friends there, and
So you would do something like that, maybe.
yes.
Okay. Okay. Good. Letta, would you add anything? Or is it 100% a-okay?
I don't know the story of Luke Skywalker.
Okay. This is Anakin Skywalker, his father. But if you don't know Luke's story, you probably don't know Anakin's story either.
Yes, yes. My father loves this film, but I look only the first.
You've only watched the first one.
And my childhood and stuff.
Okay, no problem. All right, so let's save this one. And then Bogdan, since you have control,
Mhm.
do you want to, let's undo everything. I saved the picture, so don't worry.
I can.
Sorry?
I can. If I can, I can try.
Yeah, okay. So I have to just clear the board,
Mhm.
but go ahead. The color of the marker is blue.
Yes, it will be two characters. So.
Okay.
Okay, if you have you ever watched The Great Gatsby movie?
Yes.
I watched it and read book, so.
Okay.
So we know that his life started somewhere here, working.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's Jay Gatsby, right?
His name was Jay Gatz, not Gatsby.
Okay, Jay Gatz.
But already here, he was dreaming about very good future. He wanted to be rich in the future. He know it because he wanted.
Yeah.
And he started working. He was trying. He's somewhere here. Found a very rich man.
Mm-hmm.
And he saved his life. Gatsby saved this man's life. So he gave him money and he was always with him. So his life started to be better.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going here and better and better. And
so when does he move to West Egg? Has that happened yet?
it will be later.
Okay, no problem.
And then this man was old and then he died. And all his sons and daughters, he just took all of his money.
Uh-huh.
And Gatsby had a problem.
Okay.
He was very intelligent, but he was in poverty already. And he went here. And then I should stop here because I must talk about another character.
Okay, no problem. Do you want me to
Her name is
change?
Daisy.
Do you want me to change the color of the pen?
Yes.
Okay.
Red or just another color, please.
Okay, go ahead. I changed it to pink since she's Daisy.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So her life started not bad. She were living in good family.
Mhm.
Wait. Here.
Okay.
Everything is good. But and one day when and one day he's like, her life is very good. And can I again talk about Gatsby?
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
I'll change it back to blue. One
Uh-huh.
second. Oh my gosh. Okay. Don't move the mouse for 1 second. All right. So it's back blue. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And Gatsby went to the army,
Mhm.
and he met her in her house. He met her in her house, and they fell in love. For one night. Yes. No. Yeah, but listen to me. And
Yeah,
then
I'll listen.
their life was good for this night, but
Mhm.
then they taken it to army again,
Mhm.
and he lost her. And then he was going without her. Her life was still normal, not worse, not better.
Okay.
She was waiting for him. He was going here and here, and he went from army, and he didn't want to make relationships with her while he don't have money. So
Okay.
he's making money, and here can I?
Yeah, I'll change it. 1 second.
Mm-hmm. Moving.
There you go. Okay, it's pink again.
And here, her life was also normal. She were waiting, but it was worse and worse every day.
Okay.
And one day, she found another guy who very rich, and she fall in love with him. Yes,
Mhm.
and she fall in love with him, and her life makes me better.
Mhm.
But one day when and one day when they wanted to be married in this day, but Gatsby writing her in mail, and she wants to return to Gatsby and forget about this guy,
Mhm.
but it's not possible. So her life is like
Entropy goes back.
yes, and
Okay.
but slowly it's like going up because he also loves her, and they're together,
Mhm.
up and up and up, and better, and stops right here.
Okay.
And can I use blue?
Yeah. All right. Oops. Okay. Oh, sorry. No, it didn't work. 1 second. 1 second.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. I gotta change the color. For some reason, I wish you guys could see the controls. Okay, go ahead.
Mhm.
It's blue again.
Also, in this time Gatsby makes more money,
Mhm.
and but his life is going down. He has ill fortune, and because he wants to be with her, he's trying to be. He starts in making parties, so she hoping that one day she will come and he can see her, but it's not working. And one day another character, her brother, comes to the party, so he invited this her brother. He invited her brother to this party,
Mhm.
and they becoming friends and passing some time, and he inviting his sister to the Gatsby house, and this time Gatsby's life starting like better and better and better and better. And can I use pink?
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. 1 second. All right, it's pink again.
Her life also starting, like he has nice fortune, but Gatsby wants to say to her husband that she don't want to be with him,
Mhm.
but she doesn't want it.
Okay.
So Gatsby just forcing her, and one day they just telling it,
Mhm.
and now nice, very nice. I didn't want to spoil it, but I have no choice. Can I use can I use blue one again?
Blue, yeah, sure. There you go. Here's the blue, and then let me.
And one day Gatsby died.
Okay.
So he's like forever, like uh-huh.
Okay.
And
He's a ghost now in ill.
yes, he's
Good fortune.
angel. And he dies because of her, because she yes. He died because of her, and she
Okay.
bad about that. Can I use pink?
Yeah. Here you go.
Is cat behind you? Or
Yeah.
no? Or
There's
yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay. And so what happens to Daisy at the end?
her life just go down,
Mhm.
worse and worse. Why it's not working?
I don't know. It should be. It says you're in control of my screen.
I'm trying.
Okay, so it goes down and down and gets worse.
Yes, it gets worse and no, worse than now.
Okay, like really, really bad.
Yes.
Okay.
And but she's not so good as we thought. And one day she just forgetting about Gatsby. And it's returning to a normal one. She's moving away from New York and feeling nice without him.
All right. Yeah. Good. Good. That's
Right. It's very long one, so it's hard to explain.
Yeah. No problem. No problem. No problem. You did really good. So this is fantastic. Would you say that this follows any of the I guess standard man in a hole or boy gets girl?
I don't know. I really don't know how to. It's like.
I mean, this part looks extremely chaotic, right?
Yes.
Everything's bad. Everything's good. Everything's bad. Everything's good.
Yes.
All right.
All I can say that it's really complicated, and since I haven't watched this movie, it seems like some science fiction to me.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. It's so it's one of these American literature classics, and every American has to read this story when they are in high school. And nobody in high school understands what this story is about. And I would have
about it.
Sorry?
It's a very nice movie about it.
Yeah, the movie came out like 5 years ago, right? With
But it's amazing.
yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio playing one of the main roles. But yeah,
It's Tobey Maguire there as well.
Sorry?
Tobey Maguire. I think I saw the trailer.
Yes.
And Tobey Maguire was Jay Gatz, right?
No, Jay Gatz was
DiCaprio?
Yes.
Okay. Who did Tobey Maguire play?
He was brother of Daisy.
Spider-Man.
Yes, Spider-Man. Okay. All right, so I'm going to save this, and let's see. Letta, do you have a story in mind or a character in mind? It doesn't have to be this complex. So if you want to do something simpler, it could be much simpler. Do you have someone in mind?
I more like maybe cartoons.
Okay, that's fine. So we'll give you a nice, I don't know, green color. And then, there you go. Okay, so the board is yours. You should be able to control it.
Oh, oh.
Here, I'll
It's,
do that for you.
so one of my favorite cartoons is Kung Fu Panda. Is
Okay.
about panda named Po. Yeah. So I think that his life at the start of the story, it's like about that.
Okay.
It's pretty good, but not like his want, because of he don't want to work in a restaurant,
Okay.
but he must.
Okay.
Um, okay, then he, as you know, go to the something like I don't know,
Like a where did he?
competition. I don't
Okay.
know.
Yeah, competition. That's fine. Mhm.
He likes it,
Mhm.
but he can't see it.
Okay.
Okay. And he, I don't know how to say,
He wants to train, right, to become better at the competition.
yes, but he made a plan, but
Mhm.
it can't work.
Okay.
But in but then the master say that he was best. I don't know how say best. Mm,
The best student.
Best student, yes. He was happy,
Mhm.
something like that. And then he know that he can't study like others. It's not good for him.
Okay.
Then he understands that he must to fight with the most strong, the strongest
Competitors.
old student. I don't know,
Sure.
and
Sure.
like that.
Okay.
But then his teacher, his master, can find the way how to cheat him,
Mhm.
so he can realize that he could do that other can't.
Mhm.
And I think it's like a cartoon.
Mhm.
So this their competition. I don't know. They fight, and in the end, all is good.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So his master or his sensei teaches him, figures out, like he has a hard time learning how to fight, right?
Yes,
But then his sensei figures out that you just have to pretend everything is food or something like that, right?
yes. He
And
used
then
his pandas love the food,
yeah,
so he used it.
yeah, good, good. Okay, so that's Kung Fu Panda, the first one, right? Because there are more than one movie. There's Kung Fu Panda 2 and Kung Fu Panda 3. So this is where Kung Fu Panda 1 ends, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm not going to make you draw the other ones. But, okay, good, thanks. I'll save this one and then let's see. Paulina, do you have a story in mind?
I very rarely watching a film on cartoons, but I very love the series of Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
And there are many episodes in the series,
Okay.
but Sherlock always solves cases because that's why it hasn't ill fortune,
Okay.
and Sherlock Holmes is a character of the works written by Arthur Conan Doyle,
Mm-hmm.
and Sherlock Holmes live at 221 Baker Street in London,
Yep.
and he live with John Watson, and he John Watson joins him, and after that, their adventure starts.
Okay.
Uh,
So you've seen many of the cartoons in the series, right?
yes.
Okay. Can you draw a curve just for one single episode, maybe? Like everything starts great, right? And then he gets a case, and so maybe he gets a little happier, right? But then the case doesn't go very well, and so it goes down.
I've been watching this for a very long time,
Okay.
and in every episode, the end was happy.
Okay. Good. All right. So can you draw it and just give us an idea of one of your maybe your favorite episode? What happened in your
I
favorite?
don't have favorite episodes because everything episodes very cool and interesting.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes have wonderful logic,
Okay.
and this is cool.
Okay. What's one of the cases that he solved?
Um,
The last one. When do you watch this cartoon? When was the last time you watched this cartoon?
about 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, 3 years ago. Okay. I thought it was something that you watched today. Okay. All right. What was the last movie you watched?
I don't like watching movie because
Okay.
I'm very busy.
Okay. How about English class? How do you feel about English class as it starts? Are you very happy? And then I ask you to do something and then you feel bad. And then class ends and then you're happy again. Something like that. Okay. If you don't want to do this assignment, that's fine. Yeah, this is kind of fun to think about different stories in a way that you can put them together. So I'm going to stop sharing and actually, oh, Taya is here. Didn't even recognize. Okay, Taya, do you have a story that you want to share on the whiteboard? Taya, does your microphone not work?
Probably.
Maybe her microphone doesn't work. Okay, maybe next week, yeah? Okay. So I'm going to share my screen instead, and we're gonna have a little bit of fun, okay? So I found this story generator, and this should be kind of fun. But we essentially just fill in the blanks, and we get a nice story, so we can build our own story. So the title of the story, should we name it after the hero, after the secondary character, after an object, after the weather, after the place where it happens, or just random? What do you guys think? I like that. Sorry? Netta? I couldn't quite catch that. what did you say? Random? Yeah. Okay. So we'll get a random title.
So protagonist is the bad guy, right?
Protagonist is usually the good guy. Usually
Oh,
the
the
good
good
guy.
guy.
The antagonist is the bad guy.
Well, yeah. So protagonist is boring.
Yeah.
Probably. Let's try an object from this too.
Yeah, that usually works pretty good. I like doing that as well. So we'll change that. Okay, so the opening, the beginning of the story, do we want the beginning of the story to set the scene and show us what's going on? Or should it just launch into action or focus on a relationship? Lara, what do you think? Which one would you like here?
Me? Who?
Yeah, you. Yeah, Lara.
Me? Oh, I like the story when it's launched into action. I
Okay.
think
Action right away, right? Good. What kind of conflict should we have? Should we have fighting emotionally? Should we have violence, or should we have financial?
Financial.
Violent.
Violence. Okay, thank you, Paulina. Should the resolution, should the story close be happy, sad, or violent? Should we have
Violence.
more violence? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the main character's name? How about Pippi Goldberg?
That's a great name.
And she's a female. Okay, good. How about a second character?
Bilbo Baggins.
Bilbo Baggins. Good. A female version? No. Okay.
Why not?
All right. What does the second character want from the protagonist? What does Bilbo Baggins want from Pippi Goldberg? Maybe the ring?
Yeah, the ring.
One ring? Okay, good. How does Bilbo Baggins feel about Pippi Goldberg? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. All right. Paulina
Yes,
loves negative
violence.
violence. Yes, good. Something the protagonist would like to say to this second character. I love you.
I'm your father.
Father.
I hate you. I'm your father.
I hate you. All right, good. Name the place where this all happens. Belgorod, obviously.
Yeah, sure. There's a lot of violence in Belgrade.
Okay, a feature of this place. What's something that sticks out in Belgorod?
People.
A pickle.
People.
Oh, the people.
Yeah, the people.
The wonderful people. I'll just put people. Okay. Two adjectives that can be used to describe that place. Fantastic
And violent.
and violent. Good. For emotional adjectives, for example, happy, sad, grumpy. What do you think, Paulina?
Boring.
Boring. Okay, good. Bogdan, what do you have?
I don't know. Funny.
Funny. Okay. Lena?
Puzzled.
Sorry? Puzzled?
Puzzled.
Like Puzzled, like that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Puzzled. That might work. Let's keep it like that. Okay. And then Stan.
Miserable.
Okay. Good. An adjective that could describe an object. Golden, red,
Huge.
heavy, huge. Huge is fine. 6 adjectives to describe somebody's character. How about stingy? Stingy has to be one. How about, what are some others that we learned? We didn't really learn.
Greedy. Greedy.
Greedy. Greedy is stingy though. Let's see. Somebody's character.
Aries.
Famous? Is that what you said?
No, envious.
Envious. Almost all the same. Okay, let's think of some others. Let's see. Kind-hearted, yeah?
Envious and kind-hearted.
Well, it might be two different things. These words get all jumbled up in the story.
Yeah, the first one is stingy, greedy, and envious, and the second one is kind-hearted and friendly, talkative, sociable.
Friendly, sociable. Good. Okay. An occasion. Party, holiday, funeral. We could also have it suggest things. Carol's
Funeral.
christening, birthday party. A disco. How about a disco? Yeah, disco
Sounds
is
great.
good.
Yeah,
All right.
Some violence happening in the disco.
That's right. 3 verbs happening. What happens in discos? Dancing.
Yeah.
Roller skating, probably.
Rampaging.
Rampaging. Okay, rampaging is going crazy, right? Okay, good. Something or somebody vulnerable, singular. So like an old lady or a baby bird or a toddler, a little kitten maybe.
Toddler. That's a great one, actually.
Toddler is a little baby.
Yeah.
Good.
Have you watched the movie Gentleman?
No.
No. This Guy Ritchie movie, that one is great. There's a group of people. They call themselves toddlers.
Okay. All right, a noun you might compare the main character to. So Pippi Goldberg, is she an angel? Is she a jerk? Is she an angry lady?
Mm,
A bear?
what did you imagine her when you created the name?
I thought of Pippi Longstocking, the girl. Yeah, brute is good. You guys know what a brute is? Somebody who's really strong and kind of violently gets their way all of the time.
Yeah, that's what it. That's what it is.
Pippi Goldberg is a brute. Okay, now you might compare the other character to Bilbo. Is Bilbo a coward?
So we made him kind-hearted. So
Yes.
he's-
Okay. So he's an angel.
Yeah, he's an angel.
Our angel Bilbo Baggins. Okay. A type of music: reggae, jazz, piano. What's your favorite kind of music?
And what is reggae? Is it Jamaican?
Yeah.
Jamaican music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, rap is good.
Okay, rap's good. The protagonist's favorite drink:
Soda.
soda. What kind of soda, though? It's got to be something special. Right?
No,
Fancy soda?
I don't know.
How
I
about
don't drink soda actually.
Wine.
wine? Okay, good. two objects. Any 2 objects you can think of. Any 2 things that pop into your head. Quick.
Pencil, because I have one.
Pencil. Okay, Lera. What's just anything?
Here's one, a huge pencil.
A pillow. A window. A car. Anything.
Cup of tea.
A cup of tea.
Yes.
Okay, good. Any currency? Hungarian forints, yeah? Forints? Why not? Or what was the one that we learned last week with the show? With the where in the
Francs.
world?
Francs.
Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Do you guys remember this? Francs?
Yeah.
It's what the French used to use but don't use anymore. A noun that has something to do with the weather. Rain, snow,
Fog.
sun. Sorry?
Foggy.
Foggy. Good. Fog. Good. 3 animals.
Plural. So,
Pandas,
Snakes.
snakes,
foxes.
foxes. Good. 2 body parts.
Right toe.
Right toe. Okay, good. And left toe.
No.
Nose.
Nose. Okay, good. All right, 4 adjectives to describe physical characteristics. Ginger is a nice one. Ronald Weasley is a ginger.
Small.
Small, good.
Ridiculous.
Okay.
Oh, it's actually physical.
Yeah, but you can look ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. What else?
I'll have it suggest something. Ginger, scrawny. Scrawny is really, really skinny. Scrawny's a nice one. Pointy. That's
Thank you.
ample. Pink, like Peppa Pig.
No.
I'll keep that one. Okay, so we're going to use all of these answers and it's going to generate a story. Okay, so let's do our write me a short story. All right, and the story is called The Huge Pencil.
Oh, I have one.
Yeah.
That's a huge pencil. It's actually bigger than my head.
Okay, so you must be Pippi Goldberg. Okay, so unfortunately we don't have time to really go through this story. So next week we're going to read this story together. So I will print it out and get it all nice and ready for you guys. And then we'll draw the curve for this story. Okay, sound good?
Yeah, I actually like doing the curve for the stories.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. Okay, so that's it for this week. You guys probably have the printout about the Franz Kafka, the Kafka-esque thing, right? So hold on to that. We'll probably do it next week. Okay.
Yeah. I can already tell that it's already I started.
She walked over to the window and reflected on her violent surroundings. So she,
She had always loved fantastic Belgorod with its perfect Polish people. Yeah, great.
Good. So it's going to be a good story, right?
Yeah.
And maybe we'll try this again some other time. But I'll get this all ready and set up, and then Olga will print it out for you guys. Okay. All right. So, any questions about this week?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you watched Naruto?
Have I watched what?
Naruto. That's an anime.
Naruto. No, I have
Yeah.
not. I've not seen any Naruto.
Yeah, I've just started watching the season 2. I switched from the Attack on Titans to this one. Yeah. You made me an anime watcher.
Yeah, sorry. All of your friends are going to start beating you up now.
Yeah, they have already.
Yeah, good. And then Taya can probably tell you that the manga is where it's at, the books. I've heard from a number of sources now that the books, the Attack on Titan books, are so much better than the actual cartoon. Taya can maybe say yes or no if she gets in my
Yeah, we could probably do the Eren curve together in the next lesson.
Okay. All right.
And then when you finish, you start. I can continue.
With what? Sorry.
With Eren story.
Which story? Oh, the attack.
Yeah, you start. I finish. I spoil everything for you.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay. Lena, Paulina, Taya, anything else? No. All right. So have a good week, and I'll see all of you guys next week. Okay.
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 Bye. Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Have a good week.